Every nutrition coach I've met wants to be the best coach they can be, but sometimes there are small mistakes that you are making that can really impact your coaching results and slow down the growth of your business, and no one has ever pointed them out to you, which is why today I'm going to show you the 7 signs that you're a bad nutrition coach. And take comfort, these are all things that affect all coaches from time to time, and I've personally experienced most of them, especially at the beginning of my nutrition coaching career. So this isn't just some soapbox rant, I'm really hoping that you'll learn from them. And here's the deal, you're going to want to watch until the end because the last sign is the most important and it affects even some of the best coaches, so stick around for that. But let's start with number 7. So if your nutrition client isn't checking in on time, everyone just thinks naturally it's the client's fault. But that's not true. It's actually your fault. It's because you didn't give clear expectations around the check-in process from the beginning, where to go, what to do, and when to do it. If you want to run a professional coaching service, you can't have an open door policy. Your clients need to know exactly when to check in and how to do it. And if they don't do it, you need to have consequences for them for missing the check-in, which means you don't just respond late or follow up anyway, chasing them down. This is for them and not for you. So if you're getting clients that aren't checking in on time and it's happening more frequently, you need to do a better job of emphasizing why it's so important for them to want to check in and how it looks like and the importance of this entire process. And you need to do a better job of keeping them engaged. Okay, but what about adherence to their actual plan? Let's move on to number 6. Your nutrition client isn't sticking to their plan. There are a bunch of potential reasons why adherence can be low. Let's go over all of them. The first one being you didn't pre-qualify them right from the beginning. So they're following some sort of protocol or strategy that you're not really sure they're able to follow or even want to follow. There's a few things you can do about that. The first one being you can do a better job in the actual sales process or before you start coaching them of explaining how things will proceed, what the plan will look like if they're able to do that. Sure, they might push back a little bit more, but at least you're being upfront of what is required of them, and then they can make a decision from there. Or if they say they don't really need that, or if they want to do it a different way, you can emphasize why this is the best approach for them. The next thing is they don't really understand why they're doing certain things and why it's so important for the results to be able to do them. Remember, people don't mind doing crazy things and working really hard and making sacrifices and being diligent if they know what's in it for them. But if they don't see the point, then they have a really hard time following things. It's your job to remind them and emphasize why they started this process and why it's going to be the quickest and most effective path to their goals. Speaking of their goals, have you also reminded them how far they've come and what they've been able to build on so far? That's going to be 90% of your job, is reassuring them that they're on the right path and that they should keep continuing on doing what they're doing. Lastly, you're just not walking the walk. You're probably suggesting things that you would never do and have never tried, and it isn't feasible for a client to be able to do them. You could be expecting way too much of them or not enough at all. What you suggest, what you write up, and what you prescribe should be something that you've done yourself, that you know can be done. And when you address all of these things, or at least some of them, you're going to give your clients a better chance at sticking to their plan. Okay, but what if you don't even get that far and you encounter sign number 5, which is your nutrition client is quitting in the first couple of weeks? Okay, I totally get it. A couple of weeks isn't a long time at all. In a lot of cases, it's not enough time to see any process, but you still should be looking for it. And if you want to keep your clients engaged and working towards your goals, they're going to want to experience some quick wins and fast. Even if it's small, even if it's marginal, even if it's a few pounds lost or 1 pound gained, or even a feeling that is different, you need to point it out, you need to pat them on the back, and you need to congratulate them for it. And then you need to chase down the next win, and this process will continue through time. I remember my first experience in karate. We sat around in a circle for the first month, and I really just wanted to chop through that wood block. But all they wanted to do was talk about self-discipline and how I was going to be able to control myself. And I got bored. I quit. There were no quick wins. And had someone just let me take a run at one of those boards, I probably would have stuck with it. You need to balance out what the client wants in terms of result and what's also in their best interest, so they stick with things long enough to see some big changes. They may also have a hard time sticking with things if you're just presenting too much information, meaning that your check-ins are just way too long. If your check-ins are taking you 30 minutes, you're going over way too much information. You're collecting too much information that you probably don't need to use, and you're addressing way too much stuff that isn't important at all. And what happens when you focus on this stuff, when you focus on too much, you're probably presenting with your clients with too many options, and more and longer does not mean that you're doing a better job. Remember, your job as a nutrition coach is to remove all distractions from this process, not give your clients more things to focus on that they don't necessarily need. You need to focus on 1 or 2 action steps that they need to be doing every week, and tailor your coaching plan around that. You don't need to be constantly reintroducing new things just to feel like you're doing a good job. If you find yourself in a position where your nutrition coaching check-ins are taking way too long, they're taking 30 minutes, you're writing out walls of text and you feel like you're addressing so much information that the client could do, you need to go about this a different way, and I have the perfect solution. Go to the first link in the description below and download my completely free training on the hybrid check-in process. This is the check-in process that takes 5 minutes max. My clients love it and they get fantastic results. In this case, less is more, and I'll teach you how to do that. And it makes sense, right? Think about some of your best coaching experiences and what you remember. You remember a few key things about what the coach taught you, you remember what result you got, and you remember how the coach made you feel. You don't necessarily remember walls of text and addressing so much stuff over time. Do less, focus more, and the results will follow. Okay, here's a big red flag, which is number 3, your nutrition client doesn't trust you. When your nutrition client doesn't trust you, it usually shows up like this. They are second guessing every suggestion that you make, and they don't really seem to put your action steps into practice. They're not following them. And when this happens, it's because they don't believe that you want what they want. You're not on the same page about what's best for them. You put your desires and experiences on a pedestal instead of helping them achieve what they want. Perfect example is the cost of getting lean. To look like a cover fitness model, you need to behave like a fitness model. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of sacrifices and compromises. And if you've been there, you totally understand this. So when a client comes to you and says, I want to look like that and I want to have a 6-pack, you may be thinking, oh, do they really want that? It's probably too much work for them. Yes, they want it, and it's your job to help them. Grown adults can decide what they want to do with their own bodies. And of course, you never want to be the reason why someone has severe health consequences. But in reality, there is tons of room in the middle of those two things that most coaches completely overlook. So when a client comes to you and says, I want to do this, and you think, do they really want to do that? You need to be upfront with them then, so you can get on the same page about the best way to proceed. Your client will trust you a lot more if you give them the chance to try what they want to try and achieve before you've made that decision for them. That's the best way to build trust, and you won't regret it. Number 2, your nutrition clients aren't re-signing up to work with you. When your nutrition clients don't sign up to work with you again, it's bad for coaching, it's bad for business. It's bad for coaching because if they've had a positive experience, you could probably help them with the next goal, which they're going to still need guidance with and accountability. There's this industry myth that after you work with someone for a set period of time, they should know everything they need to know, have all the habits built, and you can release them into the wild and they can live out their lives. It doesn't work like that. Many people are going to need more accountability and support. And that's okay, and it's not a reflection of you. And some clients are going to want it, and you should sign them back up. There's the next goal, the next thing to chase, the tune-up, getting back on track. If they've had a positive coaching experience with you, they're probably going to want this, and it's your job to give them the opportunity. And number 1, your nutrition client is messaging you at all hours and on all platforms. Okay, I just realized that I actually had 8 signs, so you're gonna get a bonus sign, the most important one, in a second, but let's focus on this first. When this happens, when your clients are constantly messaging you for reassurance, different tips, they want approval on certain things, it's because you haven't set up effective boundaries. And spoiler alert, the constant messaging, it actually doesn't help anyone. You're not doing a better job because of it. Number 1, your clients aren't paying for 24-hour access to you. You're not a helpline. And number 2, when you're constantly answering things that don't need to be addressed and don't need to be answered, you're not helping your clients build any autonomy. You're not giving them a chance to exercise the things that they're learning and putting into practice. Most of these questions can wait until their check-in, so you're gonna need to remind them of that, as well as many of them don't need to be answered at all. So you need to set boundaries around communication, when it happens and how it should happen. This is gonna be in the best interest of everyone. Okay, and here we go. Here's the last one, the bonus sign. You doubt yourself. Okay, this is the toughest one. And first off, doubt is normal. But in my experience, here's what happens. There are coaches out there that are super smart and knowledgeable and empathetic and decisive. And although they totally know what they're doing and have a track record for results, it's this one client and this one experience that guides their entire thought process. And all of their energy goes into fixing them and that coaching relationship, even though in reality, it's a one-off thing. Sure, client feedback can be important. So if someone tells you something, you should listen to it. But at the same time, you can't be at the whim of what your clients say all the time, especially the most vocal ones that are typically in the loud minority that are complaining and pushing back. Their feedback is not a reflection of you. So I want you to take a moment and I want you to understand that you know what you're doing. You're totally capable as a nutrition coach to help more people, and you need to forget about that one scenario right away. And that's it, folks. That's the 7 signs that you're a bad nutrition coach. Now, I hope it wasn't all negative today and you found some solutions to some of these signs so you know what to do if you ever experience them. Now, as great as all those tips are, if you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm gonna have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. There are 3 big things holding back your nutrition coaching growth. Learn what they are and how to fix them in this video. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.